Now, when I was at school, I was never really worried about exams. By the time my GCSEs rolled around, I was fairly certain I was going to be leaving school before college to go and work for a record company, and my desired career in music and theatre and acting didn't require me to have good GCSE grades in biology, Spanish and maths. However, my art, drama, music and English exams did mean a lot to me. Getting good grades in those subjects was very important to me, however I still didn't get nervous. And all my friends would look at me like, what is going on with you? Why aren't you shaking behind your textbooks? And it was because I had some really good exam techniques that I used the whole way through the end of my school life. So here are some of my top tips for avoiding exam stress. 1. Time management. Use your time to the best of your advantage. Don't leave things till last minute and cram the information, because if you cram the information you might pass the exam but you won't retain all of that knowledge. It will be there for a good few hours and then it will be gone. As soon as you know what your subjects are and when your exams are going to be, write out a little timetable for after school or your study leave. But don't go crazy. I had a friend of mine who had to revise for like 6 hours a day, and she'd do it like solidly, and it didn't pay off because she just wouldn't focus on all of the information in front of her. Her mind would start wondering about what was happening on Twitter or what YouTube videos were being posted that she didn't know about. I've done my internet research and I found out that the best way for timekeeping is to work for 10 minutes and then break for 10 minutes, then work for 20 minutes, then break for 10 minutes, then work for 30 minutes and break for 10 minutes, and so on and so forth until you keep building up that level of focus. Suddenly you'll find that your concentration starts to hold for longer, but make sure that when you're working, you're just working. Turn the internet and your phone and any electronic devices off. Treat it like you're on a plane. Everything goes on airplane mode. When you're working, and then when you're resting, you're relaxing, and you can go on Twitter and Facebook for 10 minutes. 2. Revision. We all take in information in different ways and we all have our own little methods for revision, but according to studies by Professor Dunlowski, testing yourself is the most effective way of revising. When we start to retrieve information from our own brains, we trust that it's in there, and it starts to stick better because of that. Personally for me, when I was at school, I remember song lyrics better than I remember anything else. So I would put my revision notes into a song that rhymed and sing it on my guitar, and I would remember that, and so then when I got to a question I would just hum it to myself and remember the lyrics in my head, and I'd have my answer. 3. Asking. If you're going through revision notes and you suddenly stumble across something that you don't understand, find a teacher ASAP and ask them. If you're embarrassed about asking because there's something you don't understand, just think about how much more embarrassing it's going to be after the exam when you've got a lower grade than you'd have liked and you could have just asked someone. 4. The future. Your GCSEs don't dictate the rest of your life until you're 70 and retired. All your GCSE grades do is allow you to take the subjects that you want to take at A-level, then your A-level grades allow you to get into the university you want to get into, and then your university grades allow you to get the job you want to get. Everything is just the stepping stone to the next thing. Your GCSE grades aren't the overall defining moment of your working career, so don't get too worked up and pressurised over it. You can always retake the exams if it all goes arse over tea kettle. 5. Expectations. No one, including you, can expect more from you than your best. Even if your best gets you an F in a certain subject, it's not the end of the world. As long as you work sensibly and to the best of your abilities, no one can ask more of you than that. Even if your grades don't turn out as expected, it's okay because you did the best you could. But if you do work sensibly and to the best of your abilities, it's very unlikely that your grades are going to turn out crappy. Just don't expect too much from yourself and don't pile the pressure on. You know what you're capable of, so don't let anybody tell you you should be doing better or you should be doing worse or whatever. You know what you're capable of, so just live up to that. Don't try and stretch yourself beyond it because that could just do more damage than good. So revise just a little at a time, in ways that you know that work. Ask when you don't understand something. Remember that these exams don't dictate the next 50 years of your life. And if it does go wrong, it's not the end of the world. There's far more to life than exams, so just work to the best of your ability and don't overload the pressure. The calmer you are, the more focused you'll stay, and you'll just feel better about it all. Good luck everyone, you will be fine. I have a big obsession with tea and coffee. I can't go a day without drinking a few cups of at least one or the other. But what makes drinking tea and coffee the most exciting to me is the mugs that I drink them out of. You guys seem to have caught on to the fact that I can't make a video without having a cup of tea in my hand.